Of work, it's called Emergence, which is the process of coming into being. And I began this work out at my artist residency in Joshua Tree at Boxo Projects. And that was the spring of 2021. And I spent 5 weeks out in the desert. And my project there was actually taking these pyramid sculptures that I designed and made and placing them out into the desert landscape, which was a realization of my painting series, which is called Pyramid Rift. And with the pyramids emerging from cracks in the earth, I basically wanted to go out to the desert and realize that in the landscape. The Pyramidion concept, I was really inspired by ancient Egyptian pyramidions, which are the capstone of pyramids, and the reflective qualities back in ancient times sometimes were coated with gold or electrum, and so it gave them iridescent appearance. So I've been making them in honor of the geological places that inspire my work. This was really the beginning of this whole series, and my process with these paintings was first going out into the environment and taking these photographs out around Joshua Tree. There are different locations surrounding the residency out in the Mojave, and I actually ended up doing a painting based off of this photograph, which was taken out at Amboy Crater, which is a volcano that erupted around 10,000 years ago. And I hiked with my pyramids with Bernard, the director of the residency program, and we actually hiked all the way up around the cinder cone. And after that experience and taking a whole series of photographs with my black pyramid, I came back to the studio and started creating the painting, The Pyramids of Amboy Crater. This is one of the paintings in this exhibition that is actually inspired by my 2019 residency with Art 1307, which was in Naples, Italy. During that time, my studio was in view of Mount Vesuvius volcano, which has been a huge inspiration in my work. During that same time, I actually went up this path and actually explored the top of the crater, and this painting is very much honoring my inspiration from the city of Naples. This is one of the paintings in the show that was, again, volcanically inspired. I actually went to the Big Island of Hawaii, to the Kilauea volcano, which is a place, again, that I keep returning to. I mean, the landscape is always shifting and changing. The lava lake returned this past year in 2021. And I went there in the winter of that year to see what was going on in the volcano. I actually hiked out to the lava a mile out at night and took the reference photos for this painting and just spent time really observing volcano out there at night. As soon as I returned from the trip, I began this piece, and it's called Heart of the Earth, which is actually a title that came from a series of poems that I wrote about my experiences at Kilauea. This piece, Illumination at Giant Rock, I had the opportunity to go out to Giant Rock, which is in Landers, California, very close to Joshua Tree, and it was during my residency. I actually brought my pyramids with me out to the rock, took photos, and the light that day was so amazing. The sunlight was coming from behind the rock. It's just a very special place. There's been kind of many mysterious circumstances surrounding this particular rock, but I just think geologically it's very interesting to me, and kind of the stories behind it. Giant Rock is actually the largest freestanding boulder in North America, which I just find really interesting with my geological inspiration. So I was very drawn to this place. This is the largest work in the show. It's called Ocean Emergence. And the idea came to me by observing volcanic activity on the Big Island of Hawaii, seeing lava meet the ocean, kind of all of these processes of the interaction between volcanoes and these bodies of water. I was also thinking about volcanoes in the Mediterranean, Stromboli, and also in the Canary Islands, La Palma, that recent eruption. I had a vision of this black pyramid rising up from the ocean as kind of this representation of new land emerging. I mean, it's how the Hawaiian Islands were formed originally, and I just find that concept so amazing of this geologic process forming new land, even though it does have this aspect of destroying things and destroying land, there's this kind of rebirth in new land that happens. Even here in Southern California, we're on the edge of this fault line, we're on the Ring of Fire. So I think kind of that cycle that our Earth is constantly going through is a major inspiration. So this is really the only piece in the show that isn't an actual place, but it's an imagined place from my vision, and really kind of sums up the concepts and the spiritual connection with nature.